Continue from the Thomas and Mack Center on the campus of UNLV, and it is the consolation round in tournament play. 111 degrees out today, so it's really good to be indoors. And what we've seen so far from the top five, that was Jonah Bolden, the 21-year-old from Melbourne. Archie Diacono, and he knew he had help underneath on that scoop anyway.
Over at Tuck, you have to share the wealth. That's a good time to set up as a point guard.
Dukin always had a good stroke, whether it was college or his opportunity, what these young men are working for. Briscoe, pretty good looking stroke. So 2 years, no finish. So the 76ers with good spacing and a good move and a better finish even. Shows a great deal of versatility.
Yes.
And he just got here, let's face it. Mid-range game. So Mo Jaita after it. And Todorovic.
He's for his teammates, so hopefully he'll continue to work, but he needs to find some explosiveness.
Valentine with space and the pop.
Position and how much of a willing passer he is.
Valentine looking up ahead. And Breba. Little flip. It'll work. And Valentine, you're
about their draft choices and the structure of their team. I feel like the general NBA public needs to pump the brakes a little bit about our expectations with this Philly team. With a sold-out crowd and watching these guys develop, but it's going to take some time.
I agree.
Full years off for guys coming back from injury.
So very impressive start for the young man with the basketball, though. And a little hook there for Valentine off the dribble, and he's feeling it now.
But because Melo was just past the screen, it gave him a sliver to get in there and score.
Todorovic.
There we go.
Take your time.
He's been up and down. Trimble going to the free throw line. Jovanovic.
Don't leave.
Everything's out of place these days. The save, and Bolden trying to tap it home. Boy, good volleyball.
Oh, yes.
Bolden deep off his Valentine. Very effective start for him, but especially from the outside as they, out of the timeout, get a nice screen for Heslip. Well, he's fifth best in the NBA.
So now, if you can keep that pace up and put some more shooters out there and get a better flow to your offense, now.
Yeah, you hope that some of the guys now that they put on the roster, some of these young guys step in and are a little more consistent from the outside.
The trap on Archie Diacono and Chris Walker.
For them to be more consistent shooters. You also are going to have to learn how to win. Like just bringing in a J.J. Redick and having Amir Johnson doesn't mean that you know all of a sudden.
And let's see the eventual additions they make when we talk about vets down the road. And guys they can plug in. Walker, or Valentine rather, or it might be an attractive destination then.
There's going to be a lot to figure out, though, for those guys as they go through 2 and 3 seasons together about who gets to what role. Joel.
Thought it was interesting after J.J. Redick signed. He said the real reason he signed it, he wanted to play for Brett Brown. He liked his approach.
Is Brett Brown on one of the?
We know one thing: he must be a good salesman. So for great basketball city, and a lot of spacing there between Valentine and Walker. And on the busted play, Archie Diacono with a great pass off the window.
To work on getting on the floor, but he showed some signs late in the year.
Coming up short there, Todorovic keeps it alive with a fresh shot clock. The mid-range game.
I like that a lot. Rises up and knocks it down.
Valentine with 13, 4 assists as well. Jaita not close, but the reverse is there.
3D, yeah. I mean, he's got 13.
Keep going, keep driving.
Maybe a little tired. That's a little bit of a settling shot.
Good ball fake. Korkmaz, last year 26th overall. They let the contact go into the shot clock, and it worked. Now, final shot of the quarter and the half. Heslip, he's got it.
You might be able to play him at both positions, Joel. But I think that Brett Brown is going to try to.
More than anything else, Joel Embiid is on the floor. There it goes, Brady Heslip.
Guy to have on this team, Joel, as they get started. And Valentine knocks down a catch and shoot three.
And a A nice little put him to sleep deep.
Derek Fisher. I mean, he reminds me so much of D. Fisher's body style. And Walker
coming off playing with confidence, and also like, because it would be his third year coming up, Bobby Portis. Don't forget about Bobby.
For Dugan with a 3-on-1. And out of his hands, but a fortunate roll for him. Another take. Dugan has been coming up with turnovers now and taking it away at that time, and Valentine with the easy one. Good lob. Austin set it up beautiful.
3D with that kind of length. About
cookies!
6'8", getting the rip there.
Oh, okay, Austin, we're talking about you.
Yeah,
Some plays. But again, you go back, probably the most interesting thing, Joe, for the Bulls is they have a guy on their roster in Dwayne to let Dwayne Wade maybe make another choice. But as of now, Dwayne Wade's opted to come back and join the Bulls, finish out one more year of his.
Plenty of time with the shot clock.
Nice.
Good slip inside. And even though Jai got it, and let's see how it pans out over the last 10 for him.
Well, they better keep up with the speed of what Arch is doing right now, and Heslop just constant motion right now for the Bulls, and again freeing up another shot.
Too easy. Final 3 seconds. Can Austin get it off in time? Yes. Good take. Boy, you talk about the length. How about the speed?
The speed.
Australia coaching in the NBL, Sydney Kings and the North Melbourne Giants, and then coaching the Australian men's national team. He's got this very interesting.
There is because Canadian team has not won the Stanley Cup since 1993.
I did mention, Joel, that the under-19 Canadian team beat the U.S. team just recently. let's keep it fair.
I saw that.
Just good, healthy competition.
Jovanovic. Good stroke.
Good
save.
D, yes.
Boy, he's got quick hands. His long arms to begin with. Off the deflection. Todorovic didn't quit on the play. Austin, can he time it? No. Happened with the Clippers. They may be the biggest question mark going into the new season. It'll be Korkmaz.
Nice.
Not bad. By the way, was introduced to the Houston media, and the first thing he said was, I have not been this excited about basketball. Oh, guys.
Stir it up.
5:50 left in the contest. 79-65. I know everybody in Clipper Nation likes to hear that. Oh, backed up.
Like this when training camp comes around, better spacing with Embiid and the big fellas on the floor. Catch and shoot will get you on the floor.
The good teams, and forgot about Walker, didn't they? Jackson, but directed it. So the Bulls in control, but will it be that way over the next 4 minutes? Arcidiacono.
Joel, though, in this game for Chicago, their ball movement has been good. They have produced more open looks, certainly, than Philadelphia has.
Arcidiacono really using his legs in that jumper.
To create contact and free throws, instead gets rewarded with an assist.
The putback. And Korkmaz did not quit on the play, did he? In the rebuilding and a transition period. Sharing the basketball. Because they've had a lot of ISO ball there over the last few years, whether it was Derrick Rose first, Jimmy Butler next. Had a good look at the corner. Jaitek took it away. It'll be Brandon Austin.
And let him loose.
It'll be interesting to see just how they get themselves right at 3D and what they can do to make some additions before the season gets started.
25. So the Bulls starting backcourt with 41 points, 9 assists, and 8 boards. Korkmaz.
Stroke looks good, Joel.
Really.
Some nice showings here.
Another one. Korkmaz. The versatility he could have. Final 20. Why not? Dominated by the Bulls. So the Bulls pull away in the fourth. After winning the third, they slightly had an edge in the second and dominated once again in the fourth.